Alec are the only ones in the audience. I'm pretty sure. Oh, you heard that, huh?
Okay, we'll call to order the regular city council meeting of December 19th, 2022. Madam Clerk, the roll, please.
Vixen.
Here.
Salvia.
Here.
Albrecht.
Here.
Gould.
Here.
Peterson.
Here.
Sage.
Here.
Trent.
Here.
Thank you. Will you please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out on a Christmassy cold night. First, we're going to have public comments, scheduled and non-scheduled presentations. Brian, are you there?
I am, and there's no public comment.
Okay. Next, we're going to have approval of the minutes, the consideration of the minutes of the regular meeting of December 12th, 2022.
So moved.
Motion by Councilmember Peterson. Support. Support by Councilmember Sage. Madam Clerk, the roll, please.
Vixen.
Yes.
Salvia.
Yes.
Albrecht.
Yes.
Gould.
Yes.
Peterson.
Yes.
Sage.
Yes.
Trent.
Yes.
Thank you. Next is approval of the consent agenda is a consideration of a special event application from the PSD to hold the 2023 Fire and Ice Festival on January 20th and 21st, 2023.
So moved.
Motion by Councilmember Peterson.
Support.
Support by Councilmember Trent. Madam Clerk, the roll, please.
Vixen.
Yes.
Salvia.
Yes.
Albrecht.
Yep.
Gould.
Yes.
Peterson.
Yes.
Sage.
Yes.
Trent.
Yes.
Thank you. Hard to say no on that one. There's no old business, no table items. First, we have a public hearing. Is a public hearing on the use of the Community Development Block Grant Fund, CDBG. Mr. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Evening, Council. In your packet, you'll see a memo from Patrick Maher, and Patrick stepped up in his former life. He did block grant at some of the other communities he was at. So I think the last few years, Sienna had done that for us. So we sat down and we talked about it, and continuing on with our pattern in the last few years that they've really narrowed down block grant pretty much to do ADA compliance. There's some outside entities that you can pass money through, but our application is due December 23rd. So to meet that, we needed a public hearing for tonight, and we scheduled that a couple of weeks ago. We think we're going to get about $28,533 dollars this year. And when Anthony talked at the last presentation about the All Abilities Park, we talked about we have path work to do from the parking lot by the baseball fields through and around to the north side of the new play area, the All Abilities smaller area. And we were on the hook for about $75,000 for that as our match. So we're going to use this money to do that area, which will bring down the cost of our match, and that's eligible activity. So again, it meets the idea of widening those paths to 9.5 feet and good timing so we can get it all done at the exact same time. So we would ask that you would hold the public hearing this evening, and staff's recommendation is to program that money for 2023 to the block grant, or to the ADA compliance for the area adjacent to the Memorial Grove All Abilities Park.
So, Madam Clerk, we need to have a public hearing tonight?
Yes, there's no corresponding there.
Okay. So we will open the public hearing at 7:04. Is there any comments from the public? We will close the public hearing at 7:04. Council.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Councilmember Peterson, support by Councilmember Albrecht. Mayor Pro Tem Salvia.
Thank you. The memo states that the surfaces, it says it's to replace surfaces that are asphalt or concrete. So what will the new surfaces be?
Asphalt.
So asphalt only, okay.
Further discussion? Madam Clerk, the roll, please.
Vixen.
Yes.
Salvia.
Yes.
Albrecht.
Yes.
Gould.
Yes.
Peterson.
Yes.
Sage.
Yes.
Trent.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is a consideration request to purchase a Ford F-30 truck and the needed aftermarket retrofitting. Mr. City Manager.
Yes, Alex here if he wants to come up. And again, we go through a lot of scrutiny on these replacements. We're trying to make a habit of stretching them out as far as we can. yet. We don't want to, it's at that break point where how much maintenance do you have to put in them, or are they not functioning properly? So I think this is when the scorecard's in there, and Alec did a good job getting this ready for you, and he can answer any questions you might have.
Yep, so we've got two vehicles on the agenda tonight for replacements. They're both scheduled to be replaced this fiscal year. The first one's the Ford 350. To be replacing vehicle 651. It's a 2013 Ford 350. This vehicle, as described in the scorecard, has frequent emission system and problems, goes to repair shop about 1 to 2 times a year. It's the last of our diesel engines with our dump trucks, so they would now all be gas engines with this new model. We had initially budgeted around $50,000 for this replacement, but with the state of the automobile economy, everything's just super expensive and is probably not going to change. So with the purchase of the vehicle plus the needed retrofitting, which all of those specs are included in the agenda packet with the attached quotes, comes out to a total of $86,355. With selling the existing vehicle, we're looking to make about $20,000 to $30,000. And then we're also, we had scheduled to replace a walk-behind mower this fiscal year for about $11,000, which we're going to be pushing back now to make more money, or to have more money available for the purchase of this new truck. I think that's about everything with this truck. I don't know if there's any specific questions.
Mayor Pro Tem Salvia?
Thank you. It doesn't state in here, but we have this money in the equipment fund. And this would be purchased as a part of state government bidding?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a state contract through Signature Ford.
Councilmember Albrecht?
Alec, I know at one of the either infrastructure facilities you and Nick had put together a schedule of 2023, 2024, 2025, sort of when police cars, DPW, fire trucks and everything else. Nick, I think that would be good for the city council to see that as part of these presentations going forward, so we can see that, okay, this was on the 2023 schedule, or ones that have been moved ahead or pushed back, like you said, the push behind lawnmower, you're pushing back. So just to have that information is a little more transparent. I support this. I'm just think it's information that the rest of the city council who isn't in our committee meetings would like to see.
That's a good idea. It's kind of like the Amoresco report for equipment. Okay.
Yeah, the one you had really, it was very easy to read because it had the year and then it had underneath, which trucks or fire trucks or police cars were scheduled, so.
Yep, I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Okay.
We had just updated it a couple days ago as we were discussing changing prices for things, so.
Okay, thanks, Alex.
Yep.
Councilmember Gould?
I'm still not clear how the mower ties into this.
Oh, just that, saying how this truck is more than budgeted, or is going to be more than what we budgeted for, and so we'd also had scheduled to replace a walk-behind mower this year, but we're not going to be purchasing that this fiscal year to have more money available to go towards this truck.
If I may, Mayor, I see Doug has that little look. So we realize next year we'll probably have to buy the mower, so we're going to still have to spend the money, but it delays it for a year. And we might, if we keep getting lucky where we can push things, that eventually you get even. Hopefully the inflation comes down a bit on some of these products, but.
I believe the mower was there as just because of how old it was,
Years of
and not
service.
necessarily the condition it is, so.
Okay.
So it was on the replacement chart, but not necessarily, its time wasn't up yet.
Mayor, do you want two separate motions, Alec, or do we want to do this?
Well, first,
sorry.
Councilmember Peterson?
Oh, yeah, thank you, Mayor. So I guess the question I have is, because we're doing the truck now, I'd hate to see us push back the mower, because I think right now is a good time to get a better price on a mower, because we're off-season. I don't know that, but I was thinking, since we're going to spend it anyhow, just so you're prepared.
So what was the question again?
She was saying, I think, go ahead.
Oh, no, I just think it would be cheaper now to buy it, because cost of those are usually, I know people getting a really good deal on them right now because it's winter time.
So the condition of the mower is better than it was forecasted because we did repair maintenance to it 2
Right.
years ago. So now it should last several more years, so we feel
Oh.
confident that
And
Okay,
we'll push it back.
I see what you're saying though, but I think with these larger, kind of more commercial grade mowers, I don't think they see the same
I agree.
sales, in the winter like a
oh, no,
residential mower.
yeah, I know people doing the same thing that we do here with commercial grade. That's why I do know that they're getting a really good deal right now, so they can make room for the new ones coming in, so, thank you.
And we would be looking at state bidding as well for stuff like that.
Okay.
Councilmember Trent.
Yes, so to clarify, you are projecting out all the time, like the life of this equipment. So this one, I guess, yay, good news, this mower can be put off, but it was there as a projection only. Okay, that's all I wanted to know. Thank you.
Yes,
Good
it
job.
would still need to be
Good job.
addressed sometime
Yes,
in the near
right,
future.
okay, thank you.
So also to communicate, it was hard to get people to give trade-in values, and that's why it wasn't listed on here as a return on investment. We sell it on Mitten. So
Oh.
the numbers, the Blue Book values are crazy, but I anticipate we're gonna get good sale for the Gator and the truck on Mitten, which will offset these unbudgeted numbers. And the delivery time is, 12 months plus. So if we order it now, we're not gonna see it for a year anyway. So-
For the truck,
Yeah.
right, so,
And for the actual Kubota as well, both of them.
Further question?
yeah, just, so with that being said, because are they locking us in at a rate, or will we have a chance to renegotiate?
Good
Since
question.
it is a year.
So with the truck, that is a locked-in price. With the Kubota, that is not. So they can't guarantee us the price that they gave us, so they said it could be,
6%.
Up to
is what they're
6%.
Forecasting right now.
so it's almost as if we are reserving one to be purchased when it comes in, but the price may change at that point with the Kubota. We have the option to cancel the purchase if we want when they come back. I mean, I don't anticipate the price they give us to be, thousands of dollars more, but when Colin in our Parks Department told me that for the first time, I'm like, that can't be true, but
The price they gave us, they can't guarantee. That's
So
what
we,
it is.
we budgeted with them not selling the mower and the money that was originally budgeted. We have enough money to cover what they anticipate this 6% increase. It says like $2,800. It should still be within the number that we were asking.
Councilmember Peterson?
Yeah, so so it does say in there in the bid, though, that it's only good until December 16th?
yeah, so I
So-
did talk to their government fleet coordinator there, and he said that is being pushed back, so we're good there.
Oh, okay,
It hasn't hit our other vehicles yet, but I've heard that's coming.
okay.
It's gonna be a common type of business now, because the vendor can't take the risk. And then they said, don't worry, if you pass on the deal, somebody else will buy it.
Right.
Right, of course.
So, cross your fingers.
Well, motion to approve, oh, sorry.
Okay, Councilmember Gould, you had a
Sorry.
comment?
Yeah, I just had one other quick question. In the write-up and this evening, you pointed out this will be the last of the diesel vehicles,
For the
and
For
we'll
the
be
small
just
dump
using
trucks.
gas vehicles. What is the advantage there? Is that saving us money, or is that an environmental thing, or just a convenience thing?
It's for
All the above?
type of use, for the type of use for that vehicle, it gets shut off and started a lot. It doesn't run long periods of time, so that's why it's been in the shop as much as it has been. Gas vehicles are, they idle better, and the cost of the fuel is cheaper. It's the only, that was, when the former director was here, it was a test, and there was a piece of equipment we needed to tow, and we're not towing that anymore. So we're going back to
Right.
the gas vehicle.
Thanks.
Councilmember Peterson, do you have a motion?
Yeah, just a motion to approve as presented.
Okay, just one, or do you want
No,
to do?
yeah, no, as presented with, this is stated just for the F-150 truck and the needed aftermarket
To
retrofitting.
350.
350.
I'm sorry, 350.
Okay, so motion for the Ford 350 truck and the aftermarket tooling. Is there a second?
I'll support.
Councilmember Trent, further discussion? Madam Clerk, the roll, please.
Vixen,
Yes.
Salvia,
Yes.
Albrecht,
Yes.
Gould,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes,
Sage,
Yes.
Trent,
Yes.
Thank you. Next is a consideration of request to approve the purchase of the 2023 Kubota RTV.
Yep, so this would be another replacement, not quite as apples to apples. What we'd be replacing is a 2014 John Deere Gator utility vehicle. So it's an open cab, kind of like, it almost looks like a golf cart without a roof on it. We'd be wishing to replace it with a 2023 Kubota RTV X Series. We already have another Kubota, and I think these work a lot better for our Parks Department in that there's a full cab. We can use these year-round as opposed to just in warmer months. We can use these for events and other situations where we need to have vehicles in the parks where we don't want to have full-size trucks. So with the scorecard, it doesn't score as high as the truck did, but I think because it's not really an apples-to-apples apples-to-apples comparison, and the Gator itself is still in decent condition. It's just we're looking for a utility vehicle that can do more for us than the current Gator can. And this was something that was scheduled to be replaced this year as well.
Councilmember Peterson.
Well, I appreciate you bringing forth something that's going to work better for all of you out there, plus it's covered, so if they're out driving around, they're not going to get rained on either.
And this would
Or
have
anything,
the
right?
winter maintenance snow
Yeah.
plowing capabilities as well too.
So can you plow with one of those too? Oh, the sidewalks and things like
Not
that?
streets, but yeah, other.
No, the sidewalks.
park-related areas,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Paths.
That's awesome.
Councilmember Albrecht.
I know you already mentioned that we only have a 30-day guarantee on the quote, and I know the truck, you said, Jason, might be a year. What are they guesstimating delivery for this?
6%.
Oh, he means timeline. I
Timeline,
think
not
Colin
percent.
said, like,
A year.
For the
it
cab
was like
also?
9 to 12 months, something like that.
Wow. That's surprising. Okay, thank you.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Councilmember Peterson,
Support.
support by Councilmember Trent.
I have one more question.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Yeah, one more question on that. So Gator does not have any closed cab vehicles with snowplow, only Kubota? Okay, thank you.
They actually.
Well, they have other
a
models.
version, but it's not a commercial grade.
Okay.
And this has been vetted very strongly through the Parks Department and listening to council about park paths and having a smaller weight vehicle. You know, once we invest all the money in doing paths, you want to have lighter vehicles. Only use the big trucks when you have to. So.
And this Kubota has more capabilities for attachments as well, where the Gator does not.
Councilmember Gould.
Do we, I didn't see this in the write-up, do we paint these? Like green with the city logo and all that?
The truck, yes, that's going to be.
But not
painted.
these?
No.
That'd be kind of nice.
I know they like the orange. Kubota does.
It's
You don't like the camel?
They
Okay.
checked into that.
Just be nice to have the city all over.
The seal.
It's very costly.
The wrap?
Maybe when you get a chance.
So you like the current John Deere Gator, just as your
Not even a golf
typical
cart.
looking John Deere
Right.
Gator, doesn't say parks on it
Must
or,
have gone up.
I mean, there's not much
We've got some wraps.
metal to be painted on those. I mean, it can be done, but.
Decals?
But,
Councilmember
yeah, like a
Gould.
decal on the hood or something,
Wrap
just
even.
so that people know where all the
It does
equipment we
the
have out
logo
there.
of the city of Rochester seal on it.
Okay,
There's
great,
actually 3 of them, one on the hood, one on each side.
There you go.
very nice.
For the Kubota?
All right, Madam Clerk, the roll, please.
Vixen.
Yes.
Salvia.
Yes.
Albrecht.
Yes.
Gould.
Yes,
Peterson.
Yes.
Sage.
Yes.
Trent.
Yes.
Thank you. Next is a mayor nomination for City Beautiful Commission. I will nominate Julia Johnson, and we can do that tonight, or we can do it at the next meeting, whichever the council pleases. Councilmember Peterson.
I read over the application. I feel that she would be a great asset, so make a motion to approve.
Motion by Councilmember Peterson,
Support.
support by Councilmember Sage. Madam Clerk, the roll, please.
Vixen.
Yes.
Salvia.
Yes.
Albrecht.
Yes.
Gould.
yes.
Peterson.
Yes.
Sage.
Yes.
Trent.
Yes.
Thank you. Next, we receive a report from the various boards and commission. First is a report from the Rochester Avon Recreation Authority. Councilmember Albrecht.
Yeah, I'll give my report, but I know that Dave Ward, who was the Recreation Executive Director, is here, and I know we were working with Holly. He was going to do a little update on the fourth quarter amendment, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, Dave, come on up.
Okay. And then I'll just fill in the blanks after he's done.
Welcome, happy holidays.
Happy holidays. I'm glad I could be with you for your last meeting of the year.
You can go ahead while we're passing this out.
And so I'll just go ahead and read the letter that I've presented to you guys. So just wanted to say thank you for allowing me to be here, Mayor Bixson and Mayor Pro Tem Selvia and the rest of the council here. On behalf of RAA, I wanted to provide an update as we close 2022 and head into a much anticipated 2023. I'm proud to say that RAA is finally in a position of financial stability that sets us on a wonderful path for the future. As the council is aware, we sold the 480 Second Street property in September that we held under the land contract terms. The sale of the building allowed us to pay off the debt on both buildings totaling $1.22 million, the surplus of $865,000, with the guidance of the Budget Committee for RAA has been redirected into much-needed repairs at 500 East Second Street. $702,000 of roof replacements, $40,000 of interior and exterior painting, $16,000 of security system upgrades, and $10,000 worth of concrete work. The remainder will be entered into fund balance this year and is being worked into capital improvements in 2023. In addition to the financials of the building sale, we have come in with fourth quarter projections of $178,000 under budget. As we end December, we're looking at more close to just over $200,000 of surplus there, which will go into our fund balance this year. This addition brings us to a final fund balance projection of 38%, which far exceeds our 20% that we are supposed to cost recover there. So our registrations have also increased. There's a separate sheet here for you to view. 2022, we're nearing 10,000 participants for the year, which puts us close to those pre-COVID numbers that we had. 2019, with the dance program, we had about 12,000 registrations for the year. So we're just under 9,873 at the end of this year. 9,874. Our staff has also done a great job in reducing our expenses this year and being very responsible with the budget. You can see that the numbers at the top of that spreadsheet compared to 2019, 2021, and 22, the revenues that came in for our courses, the average cost per participant, the average revenue per activity. So the average participants per activity have increased and the average cost per participant has decreased over time, which is very difficult to say when our wages are increasing and all of our costs are increasing. So our supervisors have done a great job this year to make sure that we are good stewards of the money that's provided to us from both cities. And then as we close the year, I just wanted to say that we look forward to 2023 and our continued mission to enhance lives and enrich community through culture, camaraderie, and well-being. And if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer any and all questions you have.
Mayor Pro Tem Selvia.
Thank you. Thank you for being here tonight, David. Great report. The building looks fantastic. So excellent job, bringing both fiscal responsibility and updating the building. So great work. Thank you. Thank you for everyone's work. Appreciate it.
If anybody's able to get in there over the holidays, we're finishing all the painting inside of the building. The dance ceilings are about to be blacked out on the top, and all the walls are getting painted throughout the interior of the facility as well. The field house is now done. We added some additional changing areas in the facility. And then in the beginning of next year, we'll be relocating the registration offices and creating a separate space there to allow additional programming. So it's a lot of improvements to come in 2023. So we hope to see you in the facility.
Very good.
Thank you.
Councilmember Albrecht.
I'll just give my, fill in the blanks here. So we had two board meetings. We had one scheduled for December 14th. Unfortunately, we didn't have quorum for that one, so really all we did at that meeting were some reports, not unlike what Dave has just shared with us, the participation reports and the reports from the supervisors. So the chair and Dave called a meeting for December 16th, which is also in your packet, so that we would have quorum to vote on key items that needed to be done before the end of the year. The normal one was just the payment of the bills for November. But as David referenced in the letter, we needed to approve security system upgrades not to exceed $16,000, which we did. They're going to use Cat 6 wiring, which is more state-of-the-art versus the Cat 5 wiring that we have right now. And then Our HR committee had met earlier in the week with Dave, prior week, to go over the salary increases for all the staff. We have a new software system, so it's a very structured review process where you're evaluating people on 16 different categories. We can do this all online. We as board members review Dave, and then Dave reviews his staff. And we were able to then take all that data and come up with recommended increases for each of the employees based on their performance rating that came. The performance rating is made up of 3 components: 1, a self-appraisal; 2, a peer appraisal; and 3, the supervisor's appraisal. The supervisor appraisal is weighted much higher than the self-appraisal and the peer appraisal. So that those were presented to the board and approved, and those go into effect January 1st, Dave, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, January 1st for 2023 fiscal year.
And that was it. And the numbers that you see in there, as I had said last month, and it's on the sheet that Dave passed out, thank you, but I always do this just for the record. For participants through November 2022 versus last year, we're up 1,533 participants, or 19.7% over last year. Again, we're below 2019, which is when we had the whole dance program and everything else, but we're only 775 below that. So we're getting back to pre-COVID numbers. And then on the roof, I know it was asked a couple meetings ago by a citizen what the roof cost. And again, we will report that out. The final bills have not calculated, but Dave, in a note to the board, projected that the roof will come in $7,000 under budget with all contingencies and everything, but we don't have the final accounting for me to report out on. That's it, Mayor.
Very good. Any other comments? Councilmember Peterson?
I just have one, I guess, for you, Dave. When they did the HR committee for that, did they use the wage and compensation study that was done a few years back? Did you get caught up on all of that?
We did, and
Okay.
now all of the staff is within the wage scale.
Oh,
And
okay.
actually, 2 of the staff are very close to midpoint.
Okay.
So it's been a good opportunity over these last few years to be able to get us there. And fortunately, the sale of the building next door put us in a really good position to continue to be able to get our staff. We've had one of our staff members has been there for 36 years now. So,
Right.
and she's now within the midpoint of the wage spectrum for her job title. So it's a good place to be for Rara right now.
No, that's great news. Thank you very much.
Councilmember Albrecht?
Just to follow up on Councilmember Peterson's comment, the wage study that Councilmember Peterson, when she was on our board, took us through 2022, and in early years, they were larger increases to get people up to the minimum.
Right.
It was that
It was
understated. So we had achieved that like last year or the year before, and now we were on the standard increases. We now needed to project the next 3 years because the wage study that you were part of and only took us through 2022. And Dave worked with Joe Snyder, who's the VP of Finance for Rochester Hills, and we've now projected 2023, 24, and 25 in a similar grid. And we've even, with cost of living and everything else, the way that inflation is going, it's a little more aggressive than the earlier ones were in the prior years.
And so now we actually have a little bit of wiggle room to do performance evaluations as well. So our staff can earn up to 4% based on potential criteria being met and, going above and beyond in their goals and objectives for the year.
Awesome. Thank you.
Further questions?
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah, I'd just like to say, coming from some internal issues and COVID, this looks very good, and we appreciate that Rara's back on a good footing, so thank you for your work.
And I wish all of you happy holidays, and
Happy holidays.
it's good to see you here at the end of the year, and we can't wait to see you all in 2023.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have a report from the Paint Creek Trailways Commission. Councilmember Sage.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. 2 items. Today, the trail submitted their application for the Michigan Sparks Grant in the amount of $958,000. So hopefully we will get some consideration there, and that will go a long way to replacing Bridge 31.7. We're also in process of applying for an MDOT TAP grant. we have to wait to hear from them whether we actually qualify to submit. So hopefully we'll have that before the end of the year. I know the city's already been working with the trail to facilitate that process. That's it.
Very good, thank you. Next, a report from the Rochester Area Youth Assistant, Councilmember Trent.
Well, okay, so as many people know, and some people don't, there is a difference between RA-YA and RA-RA. This is the Rochester Area Youth Association, and it's a prevention-based nonprofit organization whose goal it is to strengthen families in the Rochester community. Services such as short-term counseling, family education, financial assistance for skill building, sports or dance, and more for families in need, and they are virtually free. It's through the Rochester Community Schools. Number one, they are taking referrals who kids who may be exhibiting risky behavior and help them through the short-term counseling and assistance. They have 68 cases now, and they can take more. And so if there's anyone you know or their family is struggling with their youth, let them know that RA-YA is there to help. Number two, the school liaison, Deputy Dan Pretcher, Oakland County Sheriff, from the Oakland County Sheriffs. He's a liaison for Adams High School and Van Heusen Schools. He's been there for 5.5 years. He says that all false threats are being taken seriously and they are being prosecuted. And I thought this was an interesting statistic, that 75% of his job is dealing with social media. So, I mean, you probably expect that. Number three, a childhood grief presentation was at the Rochester Hills Public Library this month and was attended by 20 people, and the webinar is available online at rhpl.org, and they have a lot of great webinars there if you want to spend some time learning things. Number four, a big thank you to Rochester Mills Brewery and Pat and Ryan Mulrenin for Fieldstone Winery for their generosity in sharing the sales of the beer and wine at the jam-packed Kris Kringle Market beer tent. Thank you. Number five, thank you to Beth Talbert for her excellent presentation at the RA-YA annual meeting at the Calf Barn at Van Heusen Farms about how it's the small decisions that we make that can significantly impact us and others. Number six, everyone is invited to the spaghetti dinner at the Fire and Ice Festival at the Rochester Fire Department. I think they do a lot of great cooking there. I have been there inviting, and we really appreciate it for their service. Fire Department on Friday and January the 20th and 21st from 4:30 to 7 p.m. Adults are $10 and kids are $5. It's a great deal. So, if you're hungry, it's a good place to go. Number seven, if you know a young person who's volunteered and has overcome obstacles or is just simply extraordinary in the Rochester Community Schools, they have RA-YA has a youth recognition award, so go to raya-mi.org for a form, return it by February 18th for the youth recognition award ceremony. And for youth, it really means a lot for them to get an award for, exemplary behavior. And thank you so much, and happy holidays.
Thank you. Next, I think it's a little out of order. We're going to general miscellaneous. First, public comment. Brian, is there a call-in up there?
There is a phone that joined. Don't know if I see the hand, though.
Okay. On to,
It just came unmuted.
is there,
Hello?
yes, Ms. Turner, welcome.
Yes. Welcome to you, too.
Thank you.
I want to take this time to thank you very much for all of the council, for Nick postponing his retirement, for all the city employees, Leanne and Brian. Thank you very much for a wonderful year, and happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, on to general miscellaneous. Mr. City Manager.
I have three small items here. One's a housekeeping, one's an update, and one's a thank you. So on our website, we posted, we're done with leaves. I think the guys are very happy with that. It was a long season, a weird season, but it wasn't bad. The rain helped us out, I think, a bit, but we got through it, and I think we tied or beat our record of how many leaves we picked up this year, Jason. If I remember, the pile was pretty big, I know that. So we got through it without having a major snowstorm where we had to plow all these leaves back up. We actually this year took the time, Alec, and they went out in the field after we put it on the website, gave everybody plenty of notice. We're coming one more time. Then we kindly went, stuck something on their door and said, listen, we're not going to pick these at the curb, get them in a bag, and you can still get them picked up. And then after this week, I think it was, then they could take them to the yard. We had total compliance. So went as smooth as it could be done, and that's a monumental task, as you know. And the guys worked a lot of hours, but they did a great job. So really appreciate that. Update. So, and I just thought of this when Councilman Sage was talking about the Trail Commission. So I've been working with the new owners, Mann's Lumber, on two things. And with Brad Upton still part of that team for the next couple of years. So the new, the youngest boy, the youngest man that's there day to day is very conscientious and extremely organized. And actually, it's hilarious. I was talking to Brad. I met them on the site, and Brad said, my dad said to me, why can't you be more like him after 30 years of doing it here? How come he cleaned this place up so quick? So you go inside there, amazingly cleaned up. The back end, not just the store, they're changing things, but the back end, I didn't even realize how big and how much stuff is stored in there. So they've had stuff stored in there for over 20 years that they're now taking it to auction so they can get repurposed instead of just letting it sit there and rot. So they've been doing that. So he made it a point that I'm really embarrassed of what happens in front of what's out in the back. So we just, today, we got the final drawings. They gave us a little 3D rendering. I sent it to Melissa at the Trail Commission, and they want to extend that cedar fence down about 40 feet, but they'll drop it down, brand new fence, drop down, drop down, drop down. Work with Chief Shetnam to still be 90 feet away from the trail. And then they're going to go across on an angle so they can tuck everything behind it. The only thing that'll be in front of it would be the fuel tank. But all the other stuff, they might drop it for a day and then it goes behind the fence. Right now you see it in the parking lot for weeks at a time sometime. They want it all behind. And they're doing kind of just in time, so they're trying to get it in and out anyway within a couple of days, but they're going to just not leave it in the parking lot at all. So I think we appreciate their efforts. And then we're trying to talk to them about, see if they'll participate in putting a mural on the backside of that building facing the baseball diamond. If you could picture what we did in the park, picture a Field of Dreams mural with cornfield and some baseball players, and that would be the right field for the baseball field. That would be really cool. So they're open to talking to me about it. So we're going to meet after the first year and see if we can come up with some agreement. Then lastly, a thank you to the whole team for the whole year, obviously, and what they've done to support me, but more importantly, getting us through this holiday season. We've had an incredibly smooth, very back to the future, how it used to be downtown. I can't tell you how many people I've heard say, this was on my bucket list to see it. New people coming in that haven't been here. Streets are crowded. Our parking is breaking records. We're back out of control on parking. It's awesome. And the team between, obviously, Christy and, I think I told you last time, I got to stand up and thank them publicly at the caroling in the city, but Christy and Jen and Taylor, but DPW, police, fire, CERT, everybody that had to make this happen through this last 31 days has been amazing. And the weather's cooperated. Lights have never been this consistent, and we think it's because there hasn't been so much rain. We might get tested by the end of this week, but so far so good. And it's been a great season, and I know a lot of you have partaken in all the new things, the old things, traditions, and we came through it really well. The businesses are booming. We already talked to them. They're smiling. A lot of people are staying open later now, which is great, and that's what we're kind of, without pushing them, we're trying to get them to do that. So great season. Thank you to everybody that put a lot of hours in, and they have a well-deserved rest coming up for the holidays. So, and then Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody, and a healthy New Year. And let's get through one more.
Thank you. Madam Clerk?
Just happy holidays over the next couple weeks.
Mr. City Attorney Jeff?
Nothing, thank you this evening.
Councilmember Gould?
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Salvia?
Just happy Hanukkah, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and continue Rochester's merry and bright traditions.
Thank you. Councilmember Sage?
Just a wish of happy holidays and Happy New Year.
Councilmember Albrecht?
Just a couple of things, Mayor. I want to echo what Nick had to say about the leaves. Alec and his team did an outstanding job of over-communicating. We've always had the zone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 showing where the leaves are being picked up, where they're going to be. But I'd asked him about a month ago, when's the last one? And true to his word, they put out on the website, this is your last pickup. I didn't know until tonight that you also put door hangers out and everything else like that, but the leave pickup in the 2 developments that I sort of monitor where I live went very well, because anytime I saw where they were coming, I would put something out on our local Facebook page, and people were very appreciative, and your workers just did a great job. I mean, the streets haven't looked this good before. In the past, excuse me. Secondly, the fire and police responded to a fire earlier this week, and it was, we take it for granted how great our first responders are, but the police got there initially. The fire came there, saved a resident and their dog, and kept the fire controlled to a smaller area. And again, we are blessed with a great first responders, and I just wanted to continually thank them. And last but not least, some of us were able to attend the Employee Appreciation Holiday Breakfast where Nick gave out, I want to say 30 to 40 tenure awards. I mean, it was amazing, being an HR guy. I've done tenure awards in the past, but when you see 40 years and, 20 people getting 10 years and 10 people getting just the numbers were astronomical, which sort of talks about the love of Rochester that these employees have, and the love of the community. So well done. Thank you to you and Holly for putting that together. And
Megan did most of it.
Okay, and Megan. So and that's it. And to echo everybody else, happy holidays. Stay safe out there, and have a great New Year.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, before Ms. Trent. So, and I should have brought that up, and again, Maryland, Megan and Holly did the bulk of that work, and it was great. And I promised, we let them know that we know everybody can't have daytime jobs, and some people can and can't, so they acknowledged all that. But I told them that we would invite all those people here, maybe not all at one time, but we'll bleed them in here, meetings, so you can all see them, and they can say hi, and you can recognize them. So I think you asked me to do that, and they all were welcome to do that. So we'll start bringing them at every meeting, a few in, and say thank you. I think Serwinski hit 45 years. Yeah. Chief John is like 47 years. Mm-hmm. So that's awesome. So you'll see them here in the next few meetings.
Very good. Thank you. Councilmember Trent.
Yes, I was there. It was a very nice presentation ceremony. A lot of familiar faces. And I'd like to wish everybody a happy holidays and a fabulous New Year.
Thank you. Councilmember Peterson.
Yep, just one thing. What are the holiday hours for the city?
Thank you. So we're going to be closed this Friday and Monday, and then Friday and Monday after the New Year, but we're here the rest of the time. Some of the employees have heard other cities are closing down for the whole week, and we didn't go that route. So we're here till Friday, and then, so they get Friday, Monday, so a short week in between, but a lot of people get a lot of stuff done then, so I think we're okay. Thanks for asking.
Well, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone, and thank you to a wonderful, it's awesome to live in this city. I've been here going on 34 years now.
Thank you. I have a few things, actually, tonight. Don't want to keep it too long. First, I was out Friday night for dinner, and as Nick said, the town is booming. It almost seemed like Lanyap on Friday night, and there's police out and things. So, I mean, the city is really doing great at this holiday season, and I always say now, it's like a Hallmark city for Christmas, but it really is true. This is a Hallmark city. Next, I was at the OPC on Saturday for the Irish Dancers. It was a sold-out performance, and it was a lot of fun to do a great Christmas show, but the OPC really does a great job in putting those on, so I know Nancy is our liaison, but hats off to the OPC for a great job and a fun thing. In talking with Nick, and I've mentioned it to some of the council people, we talked about the zoning talk that we've had, and there's been questions to Nick and to myself as well, and we thought that a work session might be a good idea. Nick has thinks that's a good idea, has agreed to do that, maybe get Vidya in. I've asked Nick to I'll ask Nick to reach out to Chairman McGee from the Planning Commission to invite them see if maybe even a joint meeting. But no decisions will be made, but just a informational gathering thing. And so if there's people interested, kind of head nod, we'll do that. So I think, Nick, did we have a date?
I think it was January 23rd. It's the Monday that we're not working at a regular meeting.
So, check your schedules for that. And again, it's informational, the public is welcome if they want to come in. And we had talked about that a while back about the school building, talking about that, and now obviously there's other issues and other developments. So I think that's a good time.
16th or the 30th.
Right. We'll confirm the date. Maybe it is the 30th. I thought we were.
Yeah.
Probably is.
Isn't that
The 23rd would be the.
That's a normal city council.
Yeah, so it must be
Yeah.
the 30th.
The 30th.
So
Yeah,
it's the
I'll
30th?
confirm. We were trying to get the planning commission, we're gonna talk to them the first week of January to see if we can get them involved also, so.
You let us know.
We'll let you know as soon as we
Okay.
can.
Well, but the 30th is the date.
Yeah.
And,
The
we'll
30th is
just-
the date.
And again, we're going to try to get Vidya and
John Jackson.
John
Okay.
Jackson from
Patrick.
there,
Okay.
and Patrick, and just be an informational thing, and, why are we doing this?
30th, that's right.
What was in the master plan? I know Councilmember Mayor Pro Tem Salvia asked that all of us get a copy of the master plan and some of the maps and stuff, so we're all better. And I think we, it's difficult to kind of have those kind of conversations in a regular council meeting.
Could I just,
Yeah.
could we potentially, and again, this, maybe start that at 6 instead of 7? Does that work for the city council, or do we stay at a 7 o'clock
No, I
start?
mean, I think
That works better for staff, that'd be fine.
6 o'clock is,
If-
people
if-
good with
just,
that?
I'm just making a suggestion. If it doesn't work, then
I
we'll.
like that suggestion.
6 to 8?
Okay,
You know,
6
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nothing, nothing longer than that, right?
No.
2 hours of zoning is probably plenty. And then, again, Nick and I, in talking with Alan, I know it's a big risk, but we have a date for the State of the City.
Awesome.
And it's going to be March 8th, which is a Wednesday, and we kind of looked at every schedule of meetings and things like that, and it looked, so take a look at that, if, on that date, if there's any conflict or any issues, get back to Nick or I. It's now a chance that Nick's settled in and his staff is settled in, and, we're going to do it, and we are going to do it at the community house,
Okay.
to promote that. And hopefully, knock on wood, there's no COVID, because those two usually go together,
What's the date?
as they have in the past.
March
And,
8th, sorry, March 8th. Yeah.
and finally, just happy holidays to everybody out there. We are blessed to live in Rochester. It is safe here. It is nice. It is a great community. And you see other places around the world that aren't so nice and stuff, so we're blessed. So Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to everybody, and we will see people back here next year. So thank you, everybody. Meeting adjourned.